everybody, it's Cinnamon Cooney and I'm so excited to be showing you how you absolutely can paint curly fur better today. I want you to get your paint, just a couple of colors, black and white, and your brushes. Come back and meet me at the easel because I'm going to show you the art skill of painting fur. Come on, let's go. Let's get started and I'll show you how you can paint curly fur. Be sure you're painting along with me so that you can learn the skill at home. All right, I have a number 8 Bright here. This is a synthetic brush with a mix of natural bristles. I'm going to get it wet, drag off the extra moisture. I'm going to pull out my black paint because we're just using black and white. I want to show you how fur is made, how it's painted, and then you can paint it in any color you want. So first, I'm still going to put in my basics. This might be confusing because you're like, wow, those are really long strokes for painting something that's curly. But believe it or not, you really want to create a depth field when you start your fur. And so I've got my black here, but I want to show my light source. So I'm going to have to lighten the front of this because my light source is here. Why is it there? Because my imagination said so. Now, I'm not going to rinse my brush. I'm just going to pull some white paint onto it. I want a color that is a shade lighter, but not very light than the original color that I used. And I'm going to come and just make sure that I show my value fields, that this is lighter than the other color back here. Now, for the next step, it really helps if the paint is dry. So I'm going to go ahead and dry that with the hairdryer. For the next part, we've got to put in the shapes that are going to be the curls of our fur's hair. And to do that, I'm going to get a number 4 Bright. This is also a mix of synthetic and natural bristles. And I'm going to get it a little bit wet, but I'm going to take off the extra moisture and I'm going to wipe it off on a towel. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab a little of my white paint. And I'm going to make a lighter color than the 2 colors that I've already mixed. You want this to be a shade lighter. Okay, so I'm mixing these together. It's a shade lighter. And now I'm going to come in and I'm going to paint my curl shapes. So sometimes what happens when we're painting curls is we feel like we've got to paint every hair. But really we need to paint the forms of the curls. And on very curly hair, generally it's a series of almost Zentangle forms that shape within the hair. So like you might have one that goes like this and then comes back like this and curls like this, see? So they make these crazy interesting shapes and you're filling in the space between them with this paint. Right, so maybe there's a tight curl here and then there's another curled cue here, but its friend goes back the opposite way. Many of you might be painting a pet or a furry companion that has super curly hair. And it's fun, actually, if you look at their hair like a puzzle piece, to start puzzling out all the forms that it can be. Notice that it's fairly dry, my dry brush, and even in this stroke where I'm just maxing out these shapes, I'm still creating some loosely mixed, dry brushed, rough hair implications. Let's tuck some back here that curl back this way. See, as we're going, it's looking pretty darn good. I'm pretty excited about this. So mixing a little more color, taking this all the way down. Let's put another little curl here and maybe just a little friend there and peek another one here. I like to have them go in different directions. This hair would be more affected by light than movement and wind in general. So there's the basis. Already it looks more like curly hair than if you just make little cloud shapes, which often isn't very satisfying with your finished painting, right? So I'm not going to rinse this out. I'm actually going to wipe it off with my towel, get a little more white on here and make a lighter color. I don't want to use pure white because I need that for the last part of my painting, but I need a lighter value than I've used before. So this is a dry brush, lighter value. It's a lighter gray than what I had before. And I'm going to come and make sure that I tell some of that lighter story in some of the hair. But see, I'm not taking away all the dark gray. And I'm curling my stroke, and I'm paying attention to the hair directionality, aren't I? This is really good to practice at home. So I hope you're painting along with me. And I'm just making sure that my strokes are showing the direction of each of these little curls. But I'm not painting over exactly everything I have. I'm catching the highlights. This would be where the light would be catching the peak of the curl. Perhaps the hair has sun bleached out a bit at the tip. And so these are the things that you're talking about when you're painting these shapes. There you go. Isn't that nice? Just any colors, we're just doing the values. The dark, the middle, the highlights, and the highlight detail. So here we're just painting this in. And the hair at this point, the fur, should be starting to really take a shape and a story on our canvas. So now you're really seeing those curls, but the next part is about getting the details in that finish the whole story. So now I'm going to get clean water so that my white can be very bright for this, and I'm going to come over with a detail brush. This is a nice small detail brush that has a nice fine tip to it. It's got synthetic filaments. I'm going to get it wet, and I'm going to come here, I'm going to bring a little water over, and you can see that I'm swirling around to thin it. I like to roll the brush out and load on the tip of the brush so that there's a little bead of paint on the tip. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come and tell the highlight hair story of the curl. This is a very relaxing time in your painting because you can really almost like any sort of meditative doodling, you can start to really feel relaxed and enjoy just the pattern of this fur. So you can see that the highlight is starting to catch it. We're going to go through each curl. We don't paint every hair. We paint the shape and some details. Hopefully this is letting you start to see how some more complicated paintings are even constructed, even though it can be really hard to see it sometimes in really advanced paintings, like how they are built together. But now you might be looking for, where's the shadow? Where are the details? To see how an artist told a story. I'm going to rinse out. Paint can dry on your brush as you're going, so it's always good to every once in a while, especially when you're doing detail work. I'm dipping in and I'm swirling around. And I'm thinning my paint, rolling, and loading a bead on the tip. Just telling that story, right? Telling that story. Each curl starts to have its own personality. You can't really make a wrong stroke. You just want to respect and follow and commit to the strokes you put down previously. So if my stroke's rounding this way, I commit to that, and I honor that with these strokes, even if I'm playful with them within the shape. So that's something you can do to maybe be a little stronger in your first story. You can see I'm also picking like a highlight or an edge that I'm detailing out. Often on animals too that have very curly hair, not all of it is this tightly curled. Some of it might be this tightly curled. And so you might only be painting some areas of your pet or an animal with this much detail, and then back off the detail a little bit for the areas that are more loosely furled. So you're just, the curl is happening, and you can see as you're painting it with me, it's not that stressful. It's actually kind of meditative. You can go through these layers easily. There's a lot you can do. There is a lot you can do. Just curling this right here. Almost there. Oh my goodness. How did we get so far so fast? Just be sure you're painting along with me so you can really, really see these little curls, the little lines, how they happen, just curling them along. There you go. That is how you paint tightly curled fur. It's a lot of fun. It's just about finding your values, creating your shapes, honoring those strokes, and then getting to those details that are so delicious and fun. Listen, I hope you had a lot of fun doing this. I hope you're enjoying painting fur. I hope you're definitely adding this art skill to your art skill box at home. Be sure and check the description below for more fur videos, and I want to see you at the easel really soon. Bye-bye.